The magnificent city of Seoul and the magnificent spectacle of the AFC Champions League Elite. The knockout stage is here, the round of 16 as FC Seoul host Vissel Kobe at the Seoul World Cup Stadium. An iconic venue, one of the absolute finest in world football. The setting is the west of the capital city of the Republic of Korea on the northern banks of the Han River. The Mapo district of the city. Mapo, the name of an old ferry that used to cross the Han River transporting grain from southern provinces. Well, now it's about being transported into the quarter-final stage of the AFC Champions League Elite. The Suhoshin, the guardian deity, the supporters of FC Seoul and the visiting fans of Vissel Kobe. These are two teams very experienced in the AFC Champions League in all of its forms. FC Seoul runners-up in 2002 and 2013, their 11th time in the competition. Vissel Kobe, their 4th time, and they have made it as far as the semi-final stage. More recently, less than a month ago, Vissel Kobe won 2-0 at home in the league stage against today's hosts. Yoshinori Muto and Gotoku Sakai scored late on in the contest. But FC Seoul on that occasion were struggling from the impact of new signings who hadn't fully gelled in the squad. The departure of Jesse Lingard. Michael Skiba, the head coach of Vissel Kobe, has said he fully expects a different FC Seoul today, and he's wise to expect that. They won their first league match of the season. And certainly they have in those new signings players capable of being very dangerous to Vissel Kobe once they click, once they start to function cohesively. The previous game was more of a Vissel Kobe dominated affair, with FC Seoul trying to counter-punch as best they could but lacking a little fluidity. This may be different. It's a huge space, but they always manage to fill it up with noise. The fans of FC Seoul, this wonderful club that was founded in December of 1983, originally called Lucky Gold Star. Vissel Kobe, a club that started life in 1966 as the Kawasaki Steel Soccer Club. They moved to Kobe in 1995, a great port city. And Vissel itself, a portmanteau word of victory and vessel to acknowledge the maritime history of Kobe. They will feel pretty confident, Vissel Kobe, after the performance of a few weeks ago. And they haven't started the season dreadfully in the temporary format of the J-League as it adjusts to a different calendar. The J-League currently enjoying a transitional period. Moments away from the start of the contest, moments away from the round of 16. The knockout stage is upon us in the AFC Champions League Elite. It is the flagship club competition in Asia. It's the AFC Champions League Elite, and we've made it to the knockout stage. But who makes it to the quarter-final stage? We'll find out over the course of the next week, as firstly FC Seoul host Vissel Kobe, and then they meet in Japan in a week's time. In the league stage, the visitors today won 2-0 at home. That was only a few weeks ago. But Seoul have had time to see their new signings gel a little more. They've started their K-League 1 campaign, they may find that today they are much more competitive. That's certainly the expectation of the Vissel Kobe head coach, Michael Skubbe. Kim Gi-dong in charge of FC Seoul, himself a Champions League winner in 2009. The guardian deity, the supporters of FC Seoul, in fine voice in the fine venue of the Seoul World Cup Stadium. Two fine clubs in the East region, and this is expected to be a really engrossing two-legged affair over the next week. FC Seoul and Vissel Kobe meeting at the Seoul World Cup Stadium. Captains Kim Jin-soo and Tetsushi Yamakawa leading their teammates down the line and hoping to lead their teammates into the quarter-final stage of this prestigious competition. New signing Gu Sung-yeon has played in every FC Seoul match in 2026. He keeps his place in goal today. The captain is number 22, Kim Jin-soo, who plays in defence and who joined the club last season. In the midfield is number 6, the new Croatian member of the squad, Hrvoje Babec. And in attack is number 34, Song Min-kyu, brought to the club to provide pace and intensity to FC Seoul, and they'll need that today. In reserve is number 11, Chon Song-hoon, who's yet to play for the club this season, but he could bring a different dynamic to the attack. Superintending this match, Mohammed Khaled Al Hoish of Saudi Arabia, 39-year-old who's been on the FIFA list since 2014. Daya Maekawa has only played twice in this season's AFC Champions League Elite, but the Vissel Kobe veteran starts in goal today. The captain is number 4, Tetsushi Yamakawa, who plays in the centre of the defence. Number 5 is midfielder Yuta Gorke, and he has recently returned to the club he left in 2022, is delighted to be back. In attack is beloved club veteran Yoshinori Muto, number 11, who scored twice in the league stage. On the bench for the away team is 35-year-old Yuya Osako, who wears number 10. He's coming back from injury and hasn't played since the opening day of the season. They've made quite a few changes, and it takes time for changes to bed in. He's never changed anything, Daya Maekawa. Whole career at the club, loves Vissel Kobe. Hugely respected member of the team, and they've gone with him rather than the new signing Shuichi Gonda in goal. Gonda is on the bench, having celebrated his 37th birthday yesterday. It's an amazing stadium, isn't it? In an amazing city too, Seoul, one of the largest metropolitan areas in the world. Beautiful, vibrant place. And this should be a rather vibrant two-legged round of 16 type. Hope you're looking forward to this one. Should be terrific. Patrick Klimala. Polish attacker. Kickoff is upon us. The setting is the Seoul World Cup Stadium in the Republic of Korea and its capital city, as in the white shirts, Vissel Kobe of Japan visit FC Seoul. It's the round of 16 in the AFC Champions League Elite. Kim Gi-dong 54-year-old Champions League winner in 2009. In his very distinguished playing days, he played over 400 times for 2 clubs in this country. Very respected midfielder. He'll be hoping that his team can have a different outcome from the league stage when Vissel Kobe won by 2-0. Test early on, but comfortable for Woo Sung-yeon, 31-year-old who has just recently joined the club from Seoul, Iran. Played 19 times in the league for them last season. He's played every minute this season for FC Seoul. K-League 1 campaign began very recently with a 2-1 win at Incheon. Incheon itself very close to Seoul and blending into the greater metropolitan area, as there was no chance that challenge was going to blend in and avoid the attention of Mohamed Khaled Al Hoish. Eiju Sasaki wearing number 13 for Vissel Kobe, another of the players who spent his whole career at the club. Michael Skiba, the head coach of Vissel Kobe, took charge at the start of the year and said in the pre-match interview that he expected this to be a very different match from the 2-0 win a few weeks ago in the league stage, knowing that FC Seoul's players have had more chance to gel. They had 5 new signings in the starting lineup back then, so tough to expect them to really work cohesively and fluidly. And indeed, there was a lack of shape to the build-up play of FC Seoul in that match. It very much seemed to be, they were hoping for a bit of parry riposte, soaking up pressure and catching a counter. Didn't really work. Number 41 for Vissel Kobe is Katsuya Nagato. Joined the club last season from a 3.5-year spell at the Yokohama F. Marinos, where he won the Japanese league. The Japanese league that is in a change of calendar, just as the AFC Champions League and its fellow competitions went through not so long ago, moving from an autumn to spring format. So that's why in Japan they're currently in the J100 Year Vision League, which is a temporary one-off competition. And it will come from fullback Nagato, playing his 29th match in Champions League competition. A little bit of hesitation as that was poked away by Choi Jung. Just for a moment that ball seemed to freeze in mid-air and there was an audible gasp of anxiety from the fans of the Dark Red Warriors. A little too physical, Ren Komatsu. Not that he's in agreement about it. There is the number 34 signed by FC Seoul to, well, frankly, have that sort of thing happen. Not that sort of thing, but the first thing, which is to draw intemperance from opposition players, because he's quick, he's skillful. He does tend to get fouled a lot, as quick and skillful players often endure. But he has the potential to be very disruptive for FC Seoul, or rather for their opponents. Yazan Al-Arab wears number 5, Jordanian centre-back. And a foul on the Polish player Patryk Klimala. Matheus Tuller from Rio de Janeiro, but very well set up in the city of Kobe. He loves it there. He's been with the club now for a few seasons. Lee Sung-mo, a little on the aimless side. And the gentleman who nodded that ball back is number 6, Hrvoje Babec from Croatia, who has clearly been signed to put a little steel in the midfield. He's got quite a physical presence. Looking for Klimala. And yes, he was offside. A tight one, but looked as though he was just ahead. Lee Sung-mo played 33 times in the league last season. An Asian Games gold medalist. Nice ball that to Anderson Oliveira. What can the Brazilian do from this wide position? Dances and tries to find a shooting angle. It was patiently done by Vissel Kobe. They resisted the temptation to lunge at him. But some nice intricate footwork from the 27-year-old Brazilian. Super ball. Just a couple of moments where he might have been clipped and brought down. That was one. There was another there too, and there, and possibly there before eventually the touch came from Gorke. Sensibly played long by Yu Sung-yan, and the flick on by Lee Sung-mo was effective, out wide by Cho. There is already perhaps a sharper feel to FC Seoul than in the first fixture. '96 is Juan Antonio Ros, the new signing from Spain via the People's Republic of China, heading here at Tianjin Jinmen Tiger. Choi-jun. Those of you who've spent a lot of time watching FC Seoul over the last couple of years will know the danger posed by number 16 Choi-jun from fullback. Very athletic play, extremely quick. Goodness me, does he cover ground. And actually a very dexterous player on the ball. Can finish well because he did used to be a winger. To Gorke. The player penalised for that challenge on Lee Sung-mo. He said he is delighted to be back wearing the club's colours again. Yuta Gorke left in 2022. Oh, it's going to be a card. Yellow shown to Patrick Klimala, and Gorke, having been fouled just a moment ago, this time he's the player who drops to the ground. Let's have a look at it again. I mean, it is a rather late and heavy challenge from Klimala. So a bit of a staccato feel to the last few minutes. Nagato's ball. No real danger. Hooked away by Kim Jin-soo, the captain of FC Seoul. On from number 7, Yosuke Ideguchi. This could be a slightly tricky one for the defence, as Anderson Oliveira continues to be a nuisance, but was dealt with by Hirose. There is Song. The 26-year-old. Just recently joined the club from 5 years at Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, and he was in the K-League 1 Best 11 last year. So Kim Jin-soo to take this in-swinging corner kick. People who can be very dangerous here, like Babets, for example. No short. And all that rather interesting short build-up was dismissed by Anderson Oliveira's rather miscued connection, but they'll get another opportunity. Certainly fooled the 18-year-old Kento Hamasaki, who was encouraged to bite at him and did. Very good young player, Hamasaki, youth team player who's looking very established suddenly in the first team. Only made a few appearances in J1 last season. He's played 3 times in the 100-year Vision League. Certainly one to keep an eye on, the number 52 for Vissel Kobe. He probably won't wear number 52 for many more seasons. So Anderson Oliveira, that time his delivery's a little more powerful. Much more powerful, unfortunately. Gentleman who knows a thing or two about working hard in the midfield, Kim Gi-dong. Welcome if you're just joining. Great to have your company for this meeting between FC Seoul and Vissel Kobe in the AFC Champions League Elite. It's the round of 16. We've made it to the knockout stage after a demanding league stage where the top 8 teams from each region, East and West, made it through. And for FC Seoul, they only just made it through. They were 7th with 10 points. And Ulsan HD, who were in 9th place, missed out with just 1 point fewer. Can they create something here? Certainly a couple of options. Oh, he didn't quite get that right. Patrick Klimala. A groan from the fans. That was a promising build-up. Vissel Kobe had a very secure path through to the knockout stage. They were second. It was a very good East region for the Japanese teams. We'll come back to that in a moment, because this messy touch from Tetsushi Yamakawa allowed Klimala the chance. They just couldn't find Song Min-kyu. But that little run forwards on the left flank from number 34 Song is what he is hopeful he'll get a lot more of this season. Those fast bursts from wide positions. Sasaki. Hamasaki, oh, he does well, and he draws the foul. Showed skill and wisdom. Walking. Did go out of play. It's worth bearing in mind that his team, Vissel Kobe, have had a lot more football already in 2026. 100-year Vision League starting earlier than football in the Republic of Korea. So FC Seoul have only played one league match. A good win on the 28th of February at Incheon United, their geographical neighbours. Under a little pressure, got out of it, courtesy of good decision-making from Yazan Al-Arab. They've got some wonderful supporters, FC Seoul, as have Vissel Kobe, and they've enjoyed such a brilliant spell in the club's history. Two-time consecutive J-League winners, Vissel Kobe, albeit with a trickier season in the last campaign. But for so long they were a lower mid-table sort of team, and it all came together beautifully. Takayuki Yoshida was the gentleman who led them to 2 league titles. Michael Skiba has come to Vissel Kobe with very fine knowledge of football in Japan, having taken charge of Sanfrecce Hiroshima for over 200 matches before this. Sanfrecce, who were third in the East region in the league stage, with Vissel above them and Machida Zelvia above them. So great performance by the 3 Japanese teams in the Champions League Elite League stage. Nicely done that by Hamasaki. Now it's with number 11, Yoshinori Muto, the experienced forward. Goke. Muto leaves it, and it will come in from Nagato. Good ball, that. It was well read. It had a real sense of danger about it. Suddenly there's vivacity to Vissel Kobe for the first time in the match. Sumo. It's a foul by Daiju Sasaki, but the effort that he put in to try to win that back was commendable. Anderson Oliveira, alert. He's made an impressive start to the match. He's surely going to be tempted to hit it. He does hit it! He did have an option out to the left wing, but you got the sense, didn't you, that Anderson Oliveira was going to do nothing but hit that one. That was very close. Daya Maekawa was comfortably beaten. He's such an interesting player, Anderson Oliveira. He's one of those who one might euphemistically call mercurial. Others might say occasionally absent. But when he's there, my word, is he there. And he's capable of destroying teams with just one little burst of pace and skill. Sung-Yun spent virtually his whole playing career in Japan. Started at Cerezo Osaka, a city that's very close to Kobe. Ikuto Hirose to take the corner kick. Out instructions for Yuta Gorke, and it's in! At the far post, Matheus Tuller, the Brazilian, arrived. No one spotted him, and he gets his first ever goal in the AFC Champions League Elite. AFC Seoul 0, Vissel Kobe 1. Touch came off the head of Song Min-kyu. He was entirely free. Such an easy finish for Matheus Tuller. He beams his 7th goal in all competitions for Vissel Kobe. And what a frustrating goal for FC Seoul to concede when they probably had been the better team, albeit with a sense that Vissel Kobe were looking better over the last 5 or so minutes. He turns 27 the day before the second leg, Matheus Tuller. Anderson Oliveira, his fellow Brazilian. Oh, that was very well defended, and then off the bar. First of all, Yamakawa seemed to get the danger away. And a painful one following that shot for Song Min-kyu. Well, Anderson Oliveira's delivery was a difficult one. First touch from Yamakawa seemed to have dealt with the danger, and it was a vital touch, but that was nearly a cracking finish from Song. He scored their opening goal in the win against Incheon United in the first K-League 1 match of the season. some rather gentle appeals for a handball from a couple of the Vissel Kobe players. Touch on, finds Sasaki, he does well, good decision making, and now it's Muto. Partially brought under control and comfortably cleared by Kim Jin-soo. And it's offside anyway. FC Seoul, despite making it to the knockout stage, 1-1 and lost 3 at home during the league stage. Vissel Kobe, 2 wins and 2 losses in their away fixtures. So it's no surprise to see the Japanese team in a leading position in the away leg. Sungmo. Oh, he's reacted after the ball left him, suggesting there was an elbow or forearm. And it is a yellow card to Katsuya Nagato. Let's keep an eye low down on the screen there. Yes, it certainly was a foul by Nagato. Totally needless as well, because they have got the ability with players like Kim and with Anderson to produce dangerous free kicks from wide positions. Kim Jin-soo should be the goalkeepers. Oh, that was close. And it was Song Min-kyu again. And again, he's feeling discomfort, courtesy of his brave lunge for that ball. He feels he was fouled. It's a great delivery. Horrible ball, actually, for Daya Maekawa. He threw himself at it. Song Min-kyu feels that the connection was with him and with the ball some way away. It's been an enjoyable match. He thinks so at the moment. Seemed to looked as though they went head to head, but it actually is the throat that Sasaki is clutching. Looks ultimately fairly inconsequential. So by no means for the first time, Katsuya Nagato from a deep position out on the left. Different sort of ball, and oh my word, that was tricky for Woo Sung-young. Now Choi Jung loves to get a bit of space to move down the right wing, but he was lacking options and had to go back. Yeah, he was gesturing there to Anderson Oliveira to be where he wanted him to be. Well, Ara finds unexpected space down the left. Cho Young-uk. Just a couple of occasions there where the impetus came out of the build-up of FC Seoul, but at least they've kept the ball. Anderson Oliveira couldn't get ahead of Nagato, and that's certainly a foul by Choi Jung. he's going to have to be careful. Katsuya Nagato, having already been shown a yellow card. Especially with the sort of threat that Choi and Anderson Oliveira can provide, and the temptation to just clip one of them as they look to glide past. Spaniard Juan Antonio Ros with the free kick. Sliced by Matheus Tuller, and a similar outcome from the captain Yamakawa. All of that rather messy. They just didn't deal with the ball, Vissel Kobe. They did that time though when Anderson Oliveira was looking dangerous. They're trying to double up on him as much as possible. He and Song have certainly asked questions of the Vissel Kobe defence. Choi-jun has surely been fouled, yes. Ren Komatsu can in no way complain. Mentioned that Seoul is one of the largest metropolitan areas in the world. Well, Ren Komatsu was born in Tokyo. And there was no large metropolitan area around Matheus Tuller as he found himself all on his own at the far post. Great ball, well read by Maikawa. And what a piece of distribution that was from the experienced goalkeeper. Problem is, Muto doesn't have much in the way of options. Just had Ideguchi coming close to him and Hamasaki a little further forward. The goal scorer. Ideguchi. FC Seoul 0, Vissel Kobe 1. Matheus Tuller in the 23rd minute. Komatsu put behind by Yazan Al-Arab. Part of the Jordanian team that so spectacularly made the final of the AFC Asian Cup in Qatar at the start of 2024. Hirose, in his 13th appearance in AFC club competition. Easy punch away by Gu, and he was fouled. I don't think it was him that was fouled, actually. It was Kim Jin-soo, who was tugged by Ren Komatsu. Sturdy in the air, Tetsushi Yamakawa. The Brazilian centre-back Matheus Tuller, by the way, has joined the rather small club of players who've scored in both the AFC Champions League and the Copa Libertadores. He actually won the Libertadores and the Sudamericana, the two continental competitions in South America during his Flamengo days. He was actually the youth team captain at Flamengo, which is a pretty impressive accomplishment considering the quality of the youth setup at that club. Now that caught out Hirose, just didn't go out of play. There's a chance here. Yamakawa disagrees, dealt with it easily. Cross. There have been a few small moments of discomfort for Vissel Kobe at the back, but when they haven't got it right first time, they've recovered well and quickly. Sasaki. Gorke said he wants to show a more developed version of himself in this second spell at Vissel Kobe. Ideguchi telegraphed it to Al-Arab, who read it nicely. He's bursting down the left, not for the first time this match. Anderson Oliveira wanted it, maybe missed that narrow channel. Probably, when factoring in additional time, still close to 10 minutes to go in this first half. Done a lot of good, Song Min-kyu, in this first portion of the match. Good idea, and there is Choi Jun. First time we've really seen him get into that sort of position, and he can be highly effective. A left winger, Choi Jun, when he was at Hyundai High School. Then it was when he went to Yonsei University that he made the switch to fullback, but certainly keeping much of the winger's mentality. Yes, clear foul by Gorke on Lee Sung-mo. Juan Antonio Ross. They're really consistently winning the ball in the air, those Vissel Kobe centre-backs. Heavy fall for Sasaki. Choi Jun being told by Mohamed Khaled Al Hoish to get out of the way. Oh gosh, he really does land rather acutely. That's not a pleasant coming together with the ground, and actually could have been a lot more unpleasant. was very close to being really jackknifed in the middle. Now it will be Hirose to swing it inwards. Most of the deliveries from the left for Vissel Kobe have come from Nagato. But this will have a different feel to it. Tuller is forward. And instead he tried to catch Gu Sung-yeon at the near post, no chance. To get hold of the ball with a little more regularity and consistency, the home team. Maybe just slightly frantic in the way that was distributed by the goalkeeper. Yoshinori Muto, and again, Yatan Alara well positioned. Matthias Tuller to Nagato. Last few minutes of the first half. FC Seoul 0, Vissel Kobe 1. 23rd minute goal from a header right in front of an unguarded net by the Brazilian Matthias Tuller. That's not a bad idea, that ball. Muto, oh, cleverly played! What a save by Gu Sung-yeon. Daiju Sasaki with a very good shot after Yoshinori Muto made an excellent decision. But Gu Sung-yeon was the star of that move. That was a brilliant stop. Very physically strong goalkeeping from the 31-year-old. Made a name for himself in Japan. Had an excellent spell at Hokkaido Contadore Sapporo. It's Matthias Tuller, but that time the angle was not conducive. Played about 300 matches in his domestic career, Gu Sung-yeon. Most of those in the J-League. His only domestic trophy was winning J2 with the Hokkaido-based club in 2016. Many of you fondly remember that Contadore team. We'll come back to that in a moment because there's a bit of danger. And they were an exciting club during the time that Gu Sung-yeon was playing for them. Sometimes would have huge victories. Players like Akito Fukumori taking powerful free kicks for them. Maekawa, there hasn't been enormously pressurised. But there have been two very good chances for FC Seoul, from Anderson Oliveira and from Song Min-kyu. 2 additional minutes in progress. No reason for the FC Seoul supporters to be disheartened at the break in play. They've done a lot very well, and the threats are clearly there, particularly when you've got players like him. Song Min-kyu to Babets. Babets' ball to Choi Chan. Oh, it just couldn't get his body into the right position. He's starting to get forward a little more now. He couldn't pass that Sasaki to Komatsu because he was offside. I don't know about you, but I think we're set up for a very interesting second half. A little too heavy for Komatsu. Keeps it in play well. Nagato. Sasaki, who must have thought he was going to beat Gu Sanyang. Sasaki, perfectly happy just to hold on to it for the moment until support arrives. One imagines there'll be no further chances in this first half. Very interesting match, one that sees Vissel Kobe lead at half-time, but there have been a couple of really good chances for FC Seoul. The second half will bring some form of clarity, but who will take a win to the second leg? At half-time it's FC Seoul 0, Vissel Kobe 1.
아 힘들어.
Welcome to the setting of the Seoul World Cup Stadium and the AFC Champions League Elite. The round of 16 in progress. The second half about to get underway between FC Seoul and Vissel Kobe. A change made at half-time by Kim Gi-dong, taking off Yazan Al-Arab and bringing on Park Song-hoon in the centre of defence. And in the centre of the other defence, the man who was the centre of attention when he scored the only goal of the match so far in the 23rd minute, Matthias Tuller. Welcome one and all to the Seoul World Cup Stadium. FC Seoul 0, Vissel Kobe 1. Matthias Tuller in the 23rd minute, the only goal of the match so far. One change made at half-time by FC Seoul, removing Yazan Al-Arab and bringing on Park Song-hoon, wearing number 40 in the defence. It's Vissel Kobe in possession. Good idea, Hamasaki. I'll keep that in play. Very interesting first half. One with signs of potency in the attack from FC Seoul. Anderson Oliveira with a great shot with his left foot that went past the far post of Dae Maekawa. Song Min-kyu striking the crossbar. The goal from Tuller. And also very close to being a second goal for Vissel Kobe from Daiju Sasaki. A really great save from Gu Sang-yeon. All of that means that it doesn't seem hugely likely that things will stay as they are over the next 45 minutes. In a week's time, it will be the Vissel Kobe fans who are welcoming FC Seoul to the Kobe City Misaki Park Stadium. That always adds an interesting complication once you get to the knockout stage and these two-legged ties come in at the round of 16. Because for Vissel Kobe, yes, they could get very close to victory with the second goal here, but then that carries with it the jeopardy they might gift FC Seoul a counter-attacking chance to level the match and take a draw to the second leg. Babets. Just recently started his first spell in Asia. Provoje Babets, the number 6 for FC Seoul. Born in Virovitica near the Hungarian border in Croatia. Did get a red card on his K-League 1 debut. Tricky ball that back from Yuta Gorke to the not hugely appreciative Dae Maekawa. He's lively, isn't he, Kento Hamasaki? He's got enormous promise. On the subject of the gentleman who picked up 2 yellow cards on his debut in the league, Babets, with what can only be described as a tactical foul, tactical yellow card. Used to just be called good old-fashioned cynical back in the day. Yoshinori Muto. Spent 3 years at Newcastle United before joining the club, including playing in the Premier League. 3 years in Germany for Mainz in the Bundesliga. for a youngster like him, a great chance to learn from some of the very experienced players in the squad, the likes of Muto and Yuya Osako. People who've played in Europe, who've travelled the world. Oh, he did well to get out of that, Cho Young-wook. Ball seemed to get caught under his feet and he improvised splendidly. He scored in the win against Incheon on the opening day of the league season. The 9, Cho Young-wook. Oliveira rather strategically holding on to the ball to give the FC Seoul players a chance to get back. Deprive Daiju Sasaki of a quick throw. Foul by the Brazilian Mateus Tuller. Number 34, Song Min-kyu. There were moments as the second half went on that saw Choi Jun start to get forward from fullback. He seems to be just in a slightly different role. Able to find some space down the right wing in the second half remains to be seen. Yes, it was probably a foul. Referee took a moment to decide. Yamakawa to Hirose. This goes behind Nagato. Vissel Oliveira, who had such a lively start to the match. Out it goes from Cho to Song. Maybe the initial opportunity was a more dangerous one for Song Min-kyu. He did get the ball eventually, but that might have been a few seconds after the moment that saw him best positioned to do some damage down the left wing. He came through the excellent Chungju Commercial High School, which is very well regarded for its football programme. He's had a busy and exciting winter transfer and, more importantly, got married in December. Choi Jun, Anderson Oliveira tried to skip past Gorke, who was wise to it. Choi Jun, and somebody is surely going to get a chance, but the ball never really dropped low enough for it to be easy to hit. Patrick Klimala. But there we did see Choi Jun in more of an advanced position. He only scored once in the league last season, the Polish player, Patrick Klimala, but didn't actually play in the league from July through to the first match of this season. Trojan. Here is Klimala, trying to establish more of a presence in this second half. Putting a little more pressure on Vissel Kobe now. A stronger spell from FC Seoul. And there's a bit of lashing it away going on from the team in white. And that's a contrast to the first half, where they looked a lot less rushed in defence. It's a definite foul. Cho Young-uk was born in Seoul. He loves the city. How can you not, frankly? It's a truly wonderful place. Loves the club as well. Anderson Oliveira, from far away in the centre of Brazil, in Mato Grosso. Didn't quite roll for him, but Song's going to hit it. Choi's going to overlap, and it is going to be cleared by Hirose, and that will be a foul on Komatsu. It is, despite the lack of concrete outcome, a more purposeful start from his team. You wonder if this could be that really important spell of the match where Vissel Kobe either survive the period of pressure and go on to get a second goal, or go on to take a narrow advantage into the second leg, or FC Seoul strike back. He was done no favours there, Gu Sung-yeon. But it might be that we're in the now or never in this match portion when it comes to FC Seoul's chances. Hamasaki, well defended. That was the substitute, Park Song-hoon, who came on for Yazan Al-Arab, who was doing a lot of the last-ditch stopping in the first half. As though he was going to be tempted to shoot. Katsuya Nagato tried to fool everyone. There's a yellow card out. Yutagoke. Little to contest. The captain in his final season at Bagalta Sendai. Big loss for them. Big reacquisition for Vissel. The 1 hour mark of the contest. FC Seoul 0, Vissel Kobe 1. First leg of this two-legged round of 16 in the East region of the AFC Champions League Elite 2025-2026. suspect that, based on how close this match is, you're probably rearranging your diary to make sure you can catch the second leg in a week's time. May well go right to the very last moments. Out from Cho to Song Min-kyu. Can he create a dangerous chance? Not quite. Cho Young-wook is starting to find Song Min-kyu in this second half quite regularly out on the left wing. So Patrick Klimala is going to be replaced by Hwang Do-yeon. Also having Leonardo Ruiz coming on. Royer Babets departing. The likelihood actually it's the other way round. It'll be Hwang technically who's replacing Babets. He'll go into the holding role in midfield, and number 17, the Colombian Leonardo Ruiz, will play up front. Useful player to be able to bring on as a substitute. He's got a physical presence. Just recently made the step up to the top flight of football in Korea, as Muto skips past a couple. Klimala haven't really managed to pose a great deal of threat in the attack. Wonder if number 17 Ruiz will be able to do more. Based on what the Songnam fans saw in the second tier, he certainly is going to be a useful player for FC Seoul. Scored 30 goals for his previous club. Good couple of seasons. Asking a lot to provide a quality delivery from there, but he's done something already. He's created some options. Spent most of his career in Portugal. Anderson Oliveira, and there was just a little bit of confusion as, was that blocked by a hand? It certainly was. It's going to be a dangerous free kick for FC Seoul. It seemed that Kim Jin-soo and Song Min-kyu momentarily got in each other's way. It was the captain who hit it. They're going to get a great chance now. Just got out of the way in time, Song Min-kyu. That was blocked nicely by Hirose. That was blocked less nicely. Close. Hamasaki, who touched it with his hand. He feels, Kento Hamasaki, that he had his arm very much in front of his body and it struck it incidentally. Yes, not surprised that there is going to be a video review check to see if this was just inside the area. Because he was certainly inside the area as he started to make a move towards the ball. So it is going to be close. Well, it was very close. Across the plane of the penalty box. Kento Hamasaki handled the ball. Initially, it was given as outside the penalty area, but the judgment of the video review process, led by Shukri Al-Hunfush, is that it is a penalty kick, and it's an immediate chance for Leonardo Ruiz, who has just come on as a substitute. This is the moment to turn the whole tie around. Looking for his first goal for FC Seoul, Leonardo Ruiz. Oh, that was such a soft penalty kick, and it was read easily by Dayan Maekawa. One feels sympathy for Leonardo Ruiz, because had he outwitted the goalkeeper, it would have looked the calmest penalty kick in the business. But unfortunately, if the goalkeeper reads that, and he did, it's such an easy stop. Anderson Oliveira just slightly too heavy, that final touch, and Mateus Tuller gets across. But they have been much more vibrant in this second half, the home team. Just look at the body language of Maekawa. Reads it so comfortably. Now he must be hoping that time can reverse itself and he gets another chance to take that. Corner kick cleared by Sasaki. Kim Jin-soo, good ball at the far post, it just evaded Song. I said a few minutes ago that we might be in the now or never moment in this match for FC Seoul, with lots of pressure. The pressure's continuing, but they are missing chances. Yamakawa touched it behind. Anderson Oliveira, another slightly heavy touch, but Kim Jin-soo still managed to get some sort of a shot from the edge of the area. That'll be a foul on Hamasaki. A very relieved Kento Hamasaki. Relieved that his handball did not carry further punishment. He knows from experience as a player that you win the AFC Champions League by getting through tough matches like this. Now, Yuya Kawasaki and Yuya Osako coming on. Yuta Gorke and Kento Hamasaki departing. There's number 25, Yuya Kawasaki, the 27-year-old from Kyushu Island. Back in business is Yuya Osako, wearing number 10. First time he's appeared since the opening day of the season after picking up an injury. He scored on match day 1 of the Champions League Elite in the 3-0 win over Shanghai Port. Little intemperance starting to build. No foul on Komatsu, but there was one after that on the substitute Osako. Scored 8 times in the league last season, 11 times in the previous campaign, 22 the previous season, his best ever. So at 35, he's proving highly effective in the latter stage of his career. There is the substitute, Hwang Do-yeon, who came on a few minutes ago. Only 22, he spent his whole career at the club. Now, is this going to be the moment where Vissel Kobe really wound FC Seoul after the home team has had so many chances? Goalkeeper put in a difficult position and then struck by Kawasaki from outside the area. That was an anxiety-inducing delivery for the home fans. And there's a little calmness needed now, more than a little calmness from all quarters. Tough one for the goalkeeper, because any little touch from anyone else and that would surely have beaten him. So he made the decision to hold his position. It turned out to be the right one. There we go, we're all friends really. Nicely controlled by Cho. And great backtracking from Daiju Sasaki. Oh, he's done brilliantly. Yuya Osako, fabulous play to create space for Komatsu. And really good defending in the end. They've still got creativity in reserve, FC Seoul. Who touched it away, and Song will try to get forward. Anderson Oliveira, that's a great ball to Ruiz. His touch is heavy, and that allows Yamakawa to get back. But that was the pass of the match. Now, on comes Moon Son-min. Replaces Cho Young-wook, 33-year-old. He's from the city of Seoul. Joined the club last season after 6 years at Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. Great player to be able to bring on. He gets a touch, and the goalkeeper blocks it away from Song. First time that we're seeing Moon Son-min this season. But he did play 35 times in K-League One last campaign, scoring 6 goals. And he's got a very good record in the Champions League, Moon Son-min. 11 goals for Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. Yet to score in this season's AFC Champions League Elite. One still gets the feeling that an FC Seoul goal is well within their grasp. But probably more concerning would be the prospect of concession, because one imagines FC Seoul would be not necessarily confident but optimistic they could deal with a 1-0 deficit, in the second leg, but a 2-0 deficit away from home, very tricky, and it might come. Yuya Osako, who scored 11 goals in AFC club competition. He was rather unchallenged, alarmingly so. So this is now the position of jeopardy in the last 15 or so minutes for Kim Gi-dong and his players. How hard do they push for an equaliser, knowing that with it comes the risk of a second Vissel Kobe goal? There have certainly been sufficient positives, sufficient chances to encourage the FC Seoul supporters that they can make this 1-1. Just down now to really how well Michael Skibe's players can manage the rest of the match. Because what Vissel Kobe have made their supporters so accustomed to over the last few years is winning difficult matches and going on to win trophies. Yes, they were 5th last season. It was far from ideal compared to the 2 years before of winning back-to-back titles. But even 5th place by the general standard set by that club was very strong. And that was a little flick on by the back of the head of Yamakawa. Good ball. Is he onside? Moon Son-min trying to get space to shoot, and in the end they managed to get back and cover. It was Ideguchi. Anderson Oliveira, goalkeeper will come. He's lost the ball, but all to no long-term damage. Possession really handed back to the home team. You really sympathise with Leonardo Ruiz. He was close to being the immediate hero, coming on as a substitute and having that chance for the penalty spot. Kim Jin-soo just couldn't find a way to hold that and create the right sort of pass. Ruiz. Lee Sun-mo. Moon. To Song. So much that's nearly right. Oh my goodness, how has it stayed out? How has it stayed out? Just looped over the top of the goalkeeper. Whistle has gone anyway. Is he wondering if it's just going to be one of those days? Came off Hirose, looped over the top. Maybe that a use of the hand has been judged from Ruiz. Tuller did brilliantly. It was an amazing defensive effort from Mateus Tuller. That little flick off Rukuto Hirose created unintentional havoc in the defence. But it could be that Tuller is the match winner at both ends. Muto, no, really well cut out by Kim Jin-soo. Play goes on, it's Muto again. Moon rather guiltily held his hands up, and Yoshinori Muto can't believe that that wasn't a foul. Moon Son-min almost seemed to have confessed to that crime before a decision had been reached. It's a really sensible little cushioned header from Moon. Anderson Oliveira really wants Choi to provide that overlap. Minutes plus additional time. Can Song keep it in play? He's worked hard, hasn't he? There's been no lack of determination from FC Seoul. But any hopes that they might be able to carry an advantage to Japan in a week's time are fading. Now, one imagines they would be delighted simply to draw. Lee Sung-mo just about kept possession alive. Yeah, was a foul by Anderson Oliveira. Rather desperately tried to use all of his physicality to get that away from Sasaki. Hasn't looked as high impact in the second half as he did in the first. Not that Vissel Kobe have made it easy for any of the FC Seoul attackers. Yellow card. And to Daiju Sasaki. By Hideguchi. Very stop-start over the last little while, which will suit Vissel Kobe. Just a reminder, in 1 week's time, the second leg. Setting will be the maritime city of Kobe. Vissel Kobe, with all of the great success they've had over the last few seasons, are missing the Champions League elite. It's the one they want more than anything. It's the one they all want in Asia more than anything. It is the competition to win. FC Seoul are such frequent participants in the Champions League in all of its forms. back over 20 years ago. They were the runners-up. Did it nearly a decade and a half ago as well. Now they just want to be in contention for a place in the quarter-final stage. They will be in contention at 1-0 down. Can they achieve more than that? Can they level this before full-time in front of their home fans? It's going to be tricky to keep him playing. Moon's done really well. It's a great effort. Ruiz. Eventually the touch from Hwang goes out to the right wing for Anderson Oliveira. It's a great effort from the captain, Kim Jin-soo, to win the ball back. Ruiz desperately trying to make an impact. So close to, as Chon Song-hoon is waiting to come on. He will offer a degree of physicality, particularly if they start putting higher balls into the Vissel Kobe penalty area. Choi Jun got into a good crossing position, but Matthias Tuller was there. That change is now going to happen. It is a profoundly offensive change. Lee Sung-mo departs. Chon Song-hoon, wearing number 11, comes on. He was born in Gwangmyeong, a city that borders Seoul. It's his first touch. Quite steer it to Anderson. Komatsu. No, he was offside. He's had quite a rise in status, Ren Komatsu. Just about 2 years ago, he was the top scorer in the Japanese 3rd division. And in the last match in the league against Avispa Fukuoka, got his first ever goal in J1. A real sense of a reward for a lot of hard work in the 2nd and 3rd stages of the J-League. We are close to full time, with Vissel Kobe having rather smothered FC Seoul's attempts to do much in the last 10 or so minutes of the match. They will know that the job is by no means done, but surely will be pleased with the professional and sensible approach of his players in this narrow match. Not quite over yet. Touched away by Kuwasaki. Muto. Trying to keep it in play and not quite succeeding was Kim Jin-soo. Maybe a single moment that represents the narrative of the entire match. Effort that hasn't come with outcome for FC Seoul. The Vissel Kobe players were astonished that Song Min-kyu was judged to have been fouled. the air from Vissel Kobe. And here is some space for Yoshinori Muto. Had a think about a quick ball and then decided just to hold on to it, showing experience and winning the free kick. Sensible decision-making from a really seasoned professional. Only 3 additional minutes to be played. They'll make a defensive change here, just to hold on. Ren Komatsu is going to give way. Yamakawa just getting clarification on where Kaito Yamada is going to fit. And there is confirmation that they'll have an additional central defender. This is an important occasion for Kaito Yamada. He's 19, came up through the youth team. Just recently had his first start and first 90 minutes in the league. That was in the last match. Laboured jog from Rikuto Hirose to eat up a few seconds before restarting with 1.5 minutes to go. Now it will be FC Seoul's ball. They've got to use it purposefully. That was not purposefully used at all. That really couldn't have gone much worse. Just a little frantic, understandably so, considering the gravity of the situation and the lack of time left, but they've ended up giving Vissel Kobe a corner kick, and it may well be that their last attacking chance has gone. Hirose. This tie is not even close to being over, though, that's clear. Now, if Kusanyang gets this forward quickly enough, they might get one last chance, the home team. But it is really now or never. To get this in play quickly, just hurls it long, Kim Jin-soo, and the flick on is cleared. One last challenge for the defence, and Ruiz just nods it back to the goalkeeper. And flag up anyway for offside. If only for him, and if only for FC Seoul. Still, this tie is finely balanced, but it is a narrow advantage to Vissel Kobe. In a week's time, they will host FC Seoul, and they will be optimistic that they can make it through to the quarter-final stage of the AFC Champions League Elite. His goal, the only thing separating the teams. At full-time, it's FC Seoul 0, Vissel Kobe 1.
Come